Mommy, what are you doing?
A mini apron for you.
Why?
Because you're mini.
I'm not full.
You're not mini, you're big now?
Yeah. I told you. I'm too big.
Welcome to
Teal House Farm.
That's right. And today we are canning,
Carrots!
and not just any carrots, we are canning some organic baby carrots. And we're going to can them whole, just like they are in here. Can't suck your fingers either in the video, because we're going to deal with food and people don't want your germs on their food. Okay? Stop it. Okay. So, we are going to can these. They had them at Sam's Club today. We were there shopping, and they had a really good price on them. Let's see, how many pounds is it? This is a 3-pound bag, and it was $3. So that's $1 a pound, which as far as baby carrots go, especially organic baby carrots, that's a pretty sweet deal. And so we got lots of bags, and in order to, I love you too, in order to be able to take that amazing price and freeze it for any time, we're going to make them shelf stable by canning them. And JJ here is going to help me, right JJ?
Yes.
Now this is a really easy canning project. Little guys can help because we're going to raw pack these carrots, which means we are not going to cook them first. They aren't going to be really hot.
I can open them up.
Yeah, and so they can help. We don't have to worry about anybody getting their fingers burned. And there's no slicing, dicing, or peeling because baby carrots already have that all done. Now, first step, JJ, we got to put our hair up because we're going to be working with food. You ready?
Mom, can you put mine in a ponytail?
A ponytail, yes. Do you want a bun?
No.
Do you want six buns?
No, I just want a ponytail.
You ready to get started?
Yeah.
Okay, we gotta rinse off our carrots. We gotta wash our jars. Are you ready? Let's go. You have to pressure can carrots, okay? Because it is a low acid food. We want to be safe. JJ is going to prepare our jars. And
What if my biscuit went?
You'll be okay. And in order to prepare jars, we need to wash them in hot soapy water, and then we're going to sanitize them. Okay, so we clean the jars, and then here is the sanitization process, and this is where a lot of people disagree with each other in the comments, and canning just makes people really opinionated, is what I've discovered. But anyway, the best way to clean and sanitize your jars is in a dishwasher. It does it all for you. Just the wash cycle gets them super hot, and sanitizes them, and then you just leave your dishwasher door closed until you're ready to load them, and then you load your hot jars, or your warm jars, right? We don't have a dishwasher, and so I wash in hot soapy water, and then I put the wet jars in the oven on 225 for 20 minutes to sanitize them. Some people do... Hi, Ivy. Do you want to help me? Yeah. Okay, just a minute. Some people feel that the dry oven heat is not safe for the canning jars, that it ruins their integrity. Now I've canned thousands and thousands of jars at this point in my life, and I've only ever had one explode on me. So I feel like in my experience that is not true. You cannot agree. You can decide that you don't agree, and that's fine. The other option would be to put your jars in big pots and boil them on the stove for 10 minutes to sanitize them. That, in my opinion, wastes a lot of stove space that I could be using to get my food ready to put in the jars. Just slows the process way down. So I sanitize them in the oven. You do you. Be happy with it. And as always, I will link the National Center for Home Food Preservation link in the description, which has all of the safety rules for pressure canning if you feel like you need to brush up, or if you're brand new at this and you want to read what the specific requirements and rules are that are recommended, scientifically and evidence-based backing to their recommendations and things like that. Now, while the jars are sanitizing, I'm going to go ahead and get ready. We are going to do a raw pack, which means we're going to put the cold carrots right out of the bag. Well, I'm going to rinse them in a bowl first and then into the bag, into the jars. And we're going to cover them with hot boiling water. and then we will pressure can them. So I'm going to go ahead and rinse the carrots, and then I'm going to go ahead and start a big pot on the stove to bring water to a boil to fill the jars once there's carrots in there. I'm also going to take out both of my canners. We're going to can 2 canner loads worth at the same time. I will link the canners that I have down below. Both of them are about $150, and they are basically the same size. I have a Presto and I have a Tefal. If you want to know which one's my favorite, it's the Presto, only because it's made in America. It's easier to find any parts that you might need to replace. So let's get everything going. In just a second, if you're brand new to canning, I will show you how I get my pressure canners ready. But it's pretty simple. But first, I'm going to get the carrots ready and get the water started boiling, because it's going to take a while for a big pot to get started. One thing to tell you, if we do end up building a new house, instead of redoing this one, I am definitely making sure I have a double deep, super wide sink. Cannot fit my canners in here, can't fit my large pots in here, can't fit a 5-gallon bucket in here if you need to fill one with something. It kind of gets old. Okay, got my 2 canners. I did my safety checks. Safety checks, I'm just going to tell you, look in your canner manual and it will go through what the safety checks are for your particular canner, depending on whether or not you have rubber gaskets, whether you have a weighted or a gauge, like it can just depend. So just read your manual and make sure you do your safety checks every time to make sure your canner is safe to use. If you want more tips on how not to blow yourself up when pressure canning, link below to a video I just made to answer your canning questions, which were great. But anyway, we're going to get these canners ready. So we're going to put 2 to 3 inches of water in the bottom of each canner. You do not cover the jars with water with pressure canning, just enough water to create steam. So I usually fill it with water until about the middle knuckle on my middle finger, and when it's got that much water in it, then we're good. Then we're going to put the canners on the stove and just warm the water up. Not bring it to a boil, just warm, and we'll load the jars, put them in the warm canners, lock everything down, and then bring it to a boil. Here's what we're gonna do. JJ's gonna fill jars up with carrots. Ivy's gonna put her hair up in a ponytail, and then she's going to top the carrots off with water. And then I will put rings. And then I will clean the rims with a damp cloth, put the...
Where's the water?
It's in the pot. And then put the lids and rings on.
I go get water.
Just wait.
What do I do?
Put carrots inside the jar.
All the way to the top? This one?
Yep, fill them up all the way. Yep, go. I wash the lids and rings in hot soapy water. They do not have to be boiled or anything like that for pressure canning. Just make sure that they're clean. We got both canners loaded. They each hold 7-quart jars. You can do this in pints. I'm doing quarts. Being a large family, canning anything at this point in pints really doesn't get us very far, so I can a lot of things in quarts. So now we're going to go ahead and put their respective lids on. Now we do want to make sure on the weighted gauge canner, I'm going to leave the weight off. And on the dial gauge canner, I'm going to make sure that the dial is all the way open on 0. We are going to bring both of these to a boil and let them vent. That means to let a good amount of steam be coming out of the top for 10 minutes. And then we're going to lock them both down at the same time, so we only have to use one timer today. You see a nice vent. This is a vent. Okay, we've been doing this for about 10 minutes. We're going to lock everybody down. So what that means is this guy, going to spin it until it's shut all the way. It's on number 3. And the one thing that I don't like about the Presto canner is you got to get the weight on without burning your fingers. There we go. And they are both ready to go. Now, our timer does not start until the gauge here gets all the way up to number 11. And then we can start the timers simultaneously. If for some reason they don't get to pressure at the same time, then we'll just set 2 different timers. There we have it. It made 18 quarts from 18 pounds of baby carrots. So you can do your math, 1 pound per quart. You wanna let them cool off all the way, sit at room temperature for at least 24 hours, and then take the rings off to store. Thanks so much for watching. Catch you guys next time.